the constant monitoring and watching every 5 minutes of what your blood sugar is doing. It's cool in the first week, but then you have to let go, let flow. It's when the tool becomes the focus instead of the information itself. And that's where we get into trouble because stress is stress. The mind and the body, they don't know the difference between good and bad stress. It's something that creates a reaction in the body. That's stress. So your body doesn't care if you're stressed about work, your relationship, or the wearable told you something you didn't want to see, right? Optimal wellness requires peace. And I'll talk a little bit in a little bit about what that peace is for me. One of the biggest things I'm noticing is that we've become, and I'm sure you've heard this, but I just have to use it. We become human doings instead of human beings. We're always looking for the next answer. Welcome to the Everyday Epigenetics Raw, Real, Relatable podcast. I'm your host, Susan Robbins, epigenetic human performance coach. This is where we discuss all things lifestyle, environment, food, exercise, work, mind, and social interaction as they pertain to epigenetic expression in a way that's relatable to everyone. So if you're ready to start viewing you as an individual, take control of your life and health, and get results, buckle up, here we go. Welcome to the Everyday Epigenetics Raw, Real, Relatable podcast. I'm your host, Susan Robbins. This is where we talk about everything lifestyle and environment, how it relates to genetic expression, personalized health, all of it. This is the place. Today, it's just me. And this is a topic that I've wanted to bring to the forefront because I am noticing it more and more, not only with clients, but just seeing people on Facebook pages, like group pages that are in panics and constantly obsessed with every little thing health-wise. So what I'm going to talk about today is when the pursuit of health becomes unhealthy. And it's something that's been on my mind, like I said, a lot lately. And as a epigenetic human performance coach, this is something that I see happening more frequently, and I'm catching myself saying one word more and more to people that I talk to. Even said it the other day to a former client when we were catching up and talking about her variability dropping and leading to so much sympathetic system dominance, weight being stubborn because the body needs to feel safe to let go of it. I'm just seeing more people who are unintentionally sabotaging the thing that they're trying to do, which is optimize their health and wellness. So what's that one word that I have been saying a lot? Stop. Literally just stop. Stop researching. Stop blindly adding supplements. Stop looking for another protocol. Stop chasing the next peptide. Stop listening to every podcast looking for the thing that's going to be the magic bullet. Stop asking AI, whether you're using Chat, Claude, any of these out there, the same question 10 different ways, hoping that you're going to get the answer that you want. Just stop. I literally am saying this to people, including my clients. Now, being very clear here, I'm not talking about stopping taking care of yourself or doing the things that are working for you. I mean, stop chasing. Stop looking for more information by going down endless rabbit holes into the hours, the wee hours of the morning or the late hours of the night. We're in a culture of wanting more, needing more. What's the next shiny new thing? And just never allowing the body or the brain to be satisfied and do their jobs. And what I'm seeing is people becoming so consumed with trying to be healthy that it's actually affecting their health negatively. True story. I have clients who are doing fantastic. Weight that they haven't seen off, some of them in decades, is coming off. We're seeing lab markers. I have one was insulin and we want the insulin to be like 4 to 6, ideally 4 to 5. Insulin was over 18, went down to 3.8. Clients are doing amazing. They're sleeping better. They have more energy. They're just feeling better overall. And the body's responding with lifestyle changes exactly as, I can't talk, we expect it to, right? And then I'll get the text. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, Susan, what do you think about adding this supplement? Should I try this peptide? What do you think about me doing this detox? What am I going to do about parasites? And the first thing I always say is, why? Because I want to know what's driving this when we're on a boat that is flowing over the water instead of crashing up against the waves like when they came to me. And the answer is almost always exactly the same. Heard about it on a podcast or I was researching in chat or some other AI engine. And that's what got me thinking about how wellness has changed. In so many ways, it's changed for the better, but in other ways, not as much. And I think wellness was supposed to improve our quality of life, create better longevity, a better health span, right? Because it doesn't matter if you live into 90 if you can't get out of bed, right? We want that health. It's supposed to help us feel better, function better, become more resilient, perform better, be more present, age more healthily, right? But for a lot of people, it's become a source of overwhelming stress, major stress. People are constantly wondering and worrying if what they're doing is enough. What are they missing? Now, I love to say, even for biohackers, I'm like that missing piece, that one thing you are missing, but it could be chronobiology. You're just doing the right things, but at the wrong times. Maybe you're taking some of the right supplements, but taking a bunch of stuff you don't need, like things like that. But if you take somebody like Brian Johnson, for instance, this is the dude that, again, he's got the movie called Don't Die, right? He's taking 100 supplements every day. People hear, okay, if he's taking 100 supplements and he says he is biologically like an 18-year-old, what am I missing? What is my piece of gold? What if this meat and fruit diet that I'm hearing about? What if this is the key to my longevity? What I see is that they're looking for more clarity, but they're ending up more and more confused. Now, do I find that surprising? Nope, not at all. Because we are bombarded with information all day, all night, in print, online, through the airwaves, through our ears, through talking with people. It's more and more and more. And then you have health types, like in particular, the diplomats, crusaders, censors, they're driven by data. They need to know more before they take action. They have to feel comfortable with it. And I get that because I work with a lot of them. But they're the ones I also have to dial back and say, enough. Let's stay off the scale for a bit. Do you agree to not go down a rabbit hole on ChatGPT while you're working this program that is completely personalized to you? They're very real questions. And then you have activators like me, just tell me what to do and I'll take action. But I need to know, is there something more I need to do? Is there, because we are the action takers, right? So is there more I need to be doing? So we've got more health information available than we've had at any point in history. Podcasts, social media, like I said, AI, experts, and everybody's becoming an expert in something. And then we have the influencers who are really no expert in anything other than regurgitating information they hear. And you guys are getting hit with that with no real information to back it up. Everybody has an opinion. Some of the beauty of living in the United States. And I was thinking about this as I was writing this podcast. Do you ever go to a restaurant? You have some that like, I've gone in, they have one page. There's just a few things on the menu, makes the choices a bit easier because you only have this to look at. And then you go to others that it's like a whole book, page after page of choices. And this happened to my friends and I. I've just got something in my eye. My friends and I went to an Indian restaurant a few weeks ago. There were so many things on the menu. It's like everything looked good. You don't know what the hell to order because it's like, this might be good. This might be good. This might be good. So think about that with the information as we process it. Everything sounds good, but what do you order for you? And it gets more confusing the more you look, the more you listen. And the problem with the health information is that the vast majority of that information is not personalized. People don't know you exist. They just know you as a number of listeners, right? Or you're a download. And so it's not personalized understanding who you are when this information's given, knowing who's out there getting it. If it doesn't know your genetics. And if it does, remember that DNA is probabilities and propensities. It's not absolutes. And the expression is very individual. It doesn't know your history. It doesn't know your stress load and how you're dealing with it or not. It doesn't know how late you're up, what time you're getting to sleep. What is your sleep like? Doesn't know your goals, has no idea where you are right now. Yet people will take personalized recommendations, like I said, like I give, right down to the timing, the precise supplements, the exact foods they should be eating and when, and compare them against information that's made for the masses. And then they'll wonder why they're confused and start questioning things that have already been positively impacting them and are working amazingly great. And the one thing, again, as I'm writing this podcast, things are coming up, and I'm just like, and the one saying that just came to my mind was clear as mud. And first time I heard that was in Oklahoma, clear as mud. That's why I said it with that accent. And 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 it means that at first I'm like, what the hell do they mean clear as mud? And I just giggled along. Like, yeah, I really know what the fuck you're talking about, but it was too much. It's not clear. Mud isn't clear, so I don't know what I'm thinking about, right? So too much information leads to less clarity. It makes it clear as mud when you're getting it. So more information isn't always better. So we always say more isn't always better. People try to take more supplements, more of this, but the right information for the right person is absolute gold. Now, before anybody misunderstands me here, I love data, not like a censor or crusader, a diplomat loves data. That's too much. I like detail, but I love feedback to see if what I'm doing is right because I'm all about a challenge and I'm all about action, right? I geek out on my Garmin. I'm geeking out on my Nikki. And I love the data I got for a month when I used a CGM or continuous glucose monitor. And the funny thing there, I spiked my glucose one time with food, and that was a Fuji apple and some almond butter. And then two other times, it went sky high with stress. That was great information, right? I use DNA. I use labs. I use my Garmin. I track my HRV. I use all different tools every day. And I have clients that I say, hey, do you have that tool? Let's use it so you can understand your body, not get obsessed with it, right? And understanding how and when these things are valuable in understanding your mind and body, that's empowering information. But it can take that turn to the dark side when everything you do, the first thing you're doing, like every 5 minutes, you're looking down at what's my heart rate? What's this? What's this? Now, the chief medical officer at my old DNA group where I got certified at Apeiron said, the quote was, if you can measure it, you can work with it. That was over 7 years ago. And I see that sentence come to life, like with myself and every client that I've had through the years. If we can measure it, we can work with it. But monitoring, measuring, and obsessing, they ain't the same thing, right? I wear my Garmin. I love my Garmin, as I've said. I also see how easy it is to become obsessed with numbers, especially if I drop into a suboptimal category. And I used to, when I would get ready to go do a big hike, I'd look. And when my sleep was god awful, there were so many times that I probably shouldn't have done hikes passively, crazy hikes with a body battery out of 100 starting with at 30. I did one starting at 14. That was up over 12,000 feet and was at like almost 8 miles, and it taxed the hell out of me, made me worse, right? So then I got to the point where now every day I was looking and going, oh my gosh, my body battery's only at 50. Why don't I feel like crap? Or why do I feel like crap when my body battery's 80, right? And this constant obsession, my HRV, I'm panicking because it's still in the 40s, right? And the same thing with a CGM, the people that wear them, just the constant monitoring and watching every 5 minutes of what your blood sugar is doing. It's cool in the first week, but then you have to let go, let flow. It's when the tool becomes the focus instead of the information itself. And that's where we get into trouble because stress is stress. The mind and the body, they don't know the difference between good and bad stress. It's something that creates a reaction in the body. That's stress. So your body doesn't care if you're stressed about work, your relationship, or the wearable told you something you didn't want to see, right? Optimal wellness requires peace. And I'll talk a little bit in a little bit about what that peace is for me. One of the biggest things I'm noticing is that we've become, and I'm sure you've heard this, but I just have to use it. We become human doings instead of human beings. We're always looking for the next answer. Again, the shiny new object syndrome. And this, like, even down to dating. Oh, no one's good enough. Got to swipe, 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 right? What if it's the next best thing is right around the corner? At some point, you have to stop looking long enough to actually pay attention to what's happening, to notice how you feel, what's improving, what might not be. And it might be minute, but it could be the difference there. And if you don't allow yourself to stop, right? Just stop. Nike, just do it. Susan, just stop. All right. Trust, this is where trust begins. Trusting in a process, a true process, but more importantly, trusting in yourself. And I've had clients whose biggest challenge wasn't a change in their diet or exercise or a supplement or another test. All these things keeping the body in fight or flight, looking for what's wrong instead of what's right, including functional test after functional test, looking for what's wrong. It's learning to trust themselves and their bodies. Our bodies, as I've said so many times, are magnificent machines, and they work when we figuratively and literally feed it the right things at the right times, not by just constantly introducing new things, because every new thing is going to cause a reaction somehow. And if you're already reacting and don't realize it, from something else you're doing, you're never giving the body a chance to be. And I actually have a client that I was working with, and that was his one job, was to learn to be. And I actually have a female client also. I said, you are not allowed to email me every day or text me every day because I want you to learn to be and trust. You have the answers. I've given you all these tools. I want you to learn to trust you. And was interesting, she said, but I did this diet and I thought I was doing well and it was actually crushing me. Great lesson. Now you know we've moved away from that and you're in an area of beauty where you can be because it's working. So don't just do, just be a human being over a human doing. And this is so hard for so many people. Activators made to move. Always have to be doing. I've been guilty of it, burnout more than once. Okay, maybe twice, maybe 10 times. When there's peace intentionally brought in, and we have to make time for this. How can you do that if you're constantly searching for more? It is a game changer, especially people who love processes and goals and structure and plans. Censors, crusaders, diplomats. We're in a world where being busy is a badge of honor, and trying to keep up with all the new tools, the tricks, the biohacks, the information in the wellness and longevity space is freaking exhausting. I don't even listen to every single podcast because it's TMI. I want to work with what's working for me, and I have those tools to do that. And I get it because I love precision. It says literally what I do, but precision is to create clarity, not exhaustion. Clarity should create confidence. Confidence create peace. It shouldn't create obsession. So do you see, if you are feeling these things, take heed. Stop. I think social media and the influencer world, they've made all this worse. So I'm going to go back to, again, Mr. Brian Johnson. He spends about $2 million a year on himself working on this to not die. And it's literally his life. It's all he does. So regimented. He's got a girlfriend, and I'm going, dude, how do you even have fun? Right? So people flock to the wellness products he has because, of course, he's selling them, because things that work for him have got to work for you, right? But how the hell do you know? Just because they're working for him, you have no idea if they work for you. He's a very strict vegan. Does that work for you? For the majority of people, absolutely not. And I hate to break it to you, but you're still going to die. If anybody remembers the 90s movie, 80s or 90s now, I think it was early 90s, Shawshank Redemption. Like, I'm going, why are you not living? The best line is, you get busy living or busy dying. Now, do I focus on my food? Absolutely. I spent several hours on Sunday. The weather wasn't great in the beginning of the day. Went to church, came home like on it. And I prepped my ass off because I am so prepared for the next couple weeks. It's amazing. My freezer is full of things I can throw in my air fryer and heat back up, right? So that I can be busy living and living my life and not obsessing and knowing that what I'm doing is feeding that health span of mine and helping me to not die too early, right? You hear Asprey, Dave Asprey, talking about his danger coffee or whatever the hell he's selling, because there's always something, right? That I see people on Instagram going, tell me what it is. I'm going to go get it. I'm going to go get it. The amount of money we're spending because of this fear-based, if you don't have it, you're not going to have longevity. You have no idea if your body's even in a state to handle it. If you haven't listened to my detox episode, go back and listen to that a few back. Our bodies are so overstressed. People hear another podcast about cold plunging, methylene blue, peptides, fasting, carnivore, any of the latest longevity protocol, right? And then again, what am I missing? Maybe this is the thing. This is the key. But you're already making progress. Many people, especially if you've been have a plan or are working with me, you're already making progress without those things. Are you already sleeping better? Is your energy really good? Are you feeling better? If not, it's not going to be fixed by a supplement or a coffee. It's going to be fixed by dialing into your lifestyle. Well, what are you doing all day that you can't sleep at night? But now you're anxious because someone on a podcast says, oh, you should be doing something different. You're like, oh, shit. One good example is Mark Hyman's post, and he's talked about on podcasts that oats are the absolute worst breakfast ever. Eggs are the be all end all for everybody. Yeah, bullshit. And I have clients that thrive on oats, but yet they were so afraid to touch them because of this information. And this research that he was going off of was actually debunked by Dr. Gil Carvalho on my podcast with him. That was a few back. I highly advise you to check that out. We're trying to bring the truth out here so that you have clarity. But I have clients that thrive on them. I myself, I can't do oats, but I do great on oat bran. And I was afraid to touch that because I was paleo for so long that this was going to wreck me. I actually saw my lipids drop, right? So even when people are feeling generally pretty good, labs are taken, like labs are doing really good. They're thinking, geez, do I need to drop my oatmeal now? Think about it. Most influencers do this for a living. They sell products, they get paid to sell products, whether it's their own or somebody else's. Think about where the information's coming from. And it's not criticism, it's just reality. There's certain products here that I have affiliate links to, and they're all things that I use. It is a minimal list, right? Because they're things I absolutely believe in. Do I have every single client on Beam Minerals, which I absolutely love? My cats are on Beam Minerals, but I have clients that aren't for specific reasons around their biology. Okay. So somewhere along the way, people just started believing that if they're not doing what these people are doing, they're missing a critical piece of health or longevity. Yet when they tell me what they're doing, it's not changing their health outcomes or longevity. They're doing all this stuff by the time they do come to see me, right? And they still have lipid issues or insulin resistance, and they have pain, and hormones are constantly in flux, hypothyroid, still don't have the energy they want to, and the sleep still sucks. So what they do, they keep testing, keep adding more products or biohacking modalities, but they never address like the deep roots of their lifestyle. And I see all these kinds of things that do absolutely nothing for them except create more stress. And some of it's financial stress because the wallet's getting drained AF, but they're afraid they're missing something. And that fear is becoming part of the wellness conversation. And it should. And that's what concerns me, because I think part of what's bothering me is that wellness is supposed to improve health, whether it's helping somebody prevent, I love the preventive, future problems, or fix the problems that exist, which is what I do most of now. Improve overall performance. Like I said, become more resilient, or work your way out of these chronic health challenges through lifestyle changes. Somewhere along the way, wellness stopped being about health and started becoming a source of anxiety. And one perfect example I thought of when I put this together was methylene blue. And I heard a client heard about it on a podcast a few weeks ago and immediately said, "Hey, what do you think? Can I add methylene blue in? Because this doc's talking about it. It's a must have and it's great for the brain." And I went right back to my why and said, "Why?" And just because I heard it on this podcast. I actually heard about methylene blue a couple of years ago on a podcast. And for somebody with anxiety, it's for the brain, right? For somebody with anxiety, do you want to amp them up? And so I went, I did the research on it, and I thought, wow, this sounds cool. And then I started looking at the effects on the brain. It increases the catecholamines. These are your stress hormones. They're stimulating, right? If you have a fast COMT, by all means, go for it. Probably going to could potentially do really well for you. If you have a slow COMT, I highly caution you against it, because you have a very slow breakdown of these stimulating neurotransmitters, and we're usually wired and overstimulated anyway and can't sleep. It could make you worse. So, not fun. So, not the best for a slow COMT if you want to calm the brain and bring peace. But does this doc talk about it on the podcast? No, because he sells it. It's biology. It's all contextual. The question isn't whether something works. The question should be, does this work for me? Now, you might say, I won't know until I try it. But we have such precision that we can look and see whether genetically or through health type, is this ideal for this person or at what times? And it's not just methylene blue, it's fasting. God, argue with me. Carnivore, argue with me, bring it. They're the most argumentative group yet. Vegans, they can be too, but they're a little more tame. Cold plunges, and I come from a very long, over a decade CrossFit. CrossFit. I used to think I was right for everybody. Nope. I ate crow on that too. And I felt sorry for the people that I was like, you can do this, and push them through when, holy crap, it wasn't right. Peptides. They are the next, this is the second coming of Christ, is how peptides are being touted. But are they all right for everybody? Absolutely not. And these places that pump out peptides just to give them out without truly understanding the individual and where they are, it can cause more issues. Even coffee and chocolate, right? For a slow metabolizer of caffeine, it can be more not cardioprotective like it is for a fast metabolizer. Chocolate, it comes up on my profile, my PH260 profile, as being great or excellent for me because of the properties it has. However, I don't have in my profile, now I know all this is that where I go that extra step. Chocolate is a massive histamine liberator. I eat chocolate, I'm itching like crazy, right? So this is how we pull things together. The more you understand you, there is no one right or wrong thing for each person. And right there should be a red flag when someone's saying this is perfect for everybody, not a hop online and order it right away thing. And that's why personalization matters. And again, don't get me wrong, I absolutely make adjustments with clients because you have to. That should be coaching. Life happens. People change physically, they lose weight, their hormones balance, they get metabolic improvements. What if they get an infection? We have to change. The dietary needs change, especially because we want to amp up the foods that are going to be protective and dial down the foods that can exacerbate issues. Bring back foods that we had to lower or eliminate for a little bit to get maybe a very dangerous issue under control. And that's how we do it. It's always evolving. That's part of coaching. So if the coaching program you have or any type of program stays static, here's the plan, have at it. See ya. This will be your fix all. That's a problem. But there's a difference between thoughtful adjustments and constantly abandoning what you're doing or changing that's working well because someone on a podcast said something different. One creates progress, the other creates chaos. And my Diplos out there, if you're listening, I'm sure your head's going, oh my God, too much, too much chaos. I hate it, right? Crusaders too. Sensors jumbles the mind up. There's no clarity. My clients that actually do the best are the ones that aren't doing the most, right? That's why we pick and we choose. And I don't have a here's your profile, see you later. You have to work with each individual and not overwhelm and create this process. And the ones that stay consistent long enough to let the process work, again, gold. And I think the one thing I've learned over the last decade plus of coaching is that sometimes the biggest challenge isn't knowing what to do, it's knowing what matters right now. And this is, like I said, all these things coming into my head as I wrote this. I was just flowing. What's the priority? What is moving the needle? Is this just, hey, this is cool, fun information? Can it wait? This is something that needs to be done right now, or you feel like, why do you need it right now? The things that may never be right for you, regardless of how popular it becomes, like that's where coaching is so valuable to help stop that noise for you and put things into perspective and pull out you. Not because coaches have all the answers or a doctor or tell you what you need to think, but because sometimes we need to help filter that, right? Filter the noise that we're reading or seeing or hearing and keep us focused on what really matters. And that's recognizing when progress is actually happening. People naturally tend to focus on the negatives. They just do. And everybody says, and I work with it. I tell myself to go to the positive, but there's and other health types specifically go to the negative instead of looking at the multitude of wins that they've been getting. Hugely important. And that's why I like to always focus on is, okay, maybe your lipids aren't exactly where we want them now, but you've lost 30 pounds in 3 months. Your insulin is down. Your fasting glucose is no longer pre-diabetic. You are no longer insulin resistant. But we focus on the negatives of what we don't have and want more, right? So my job as a coach isn't to create dependency with my clients that they feel that they can't trust themselves. Is to help people understand themselves better so that they can trust themselves more. To see through some of the ridiculous claims out there, not blindly trust an influencer or a podcast host. My goal isn't even to make you blindly trust me. It's to help you create awareness and learn to trust yourself and the choices because you finally get you. When you let go of the idea that you have to control every single thing, right? Magic. Have you ever worked for a micromanager? I have, and it was brutal. To every 5 minutes, what are you doing? Have you done this? You're like, oh my God, shut the hell up. Leave me alone. Maybe some people thrive on that, but most don't. How do you think your mind and body react when you micromanage your health to the nth degree? It rebels. It holds on to everything. It creates anxiety and stress. It doesn't feel safe. My goal for a client and my listeners, you guys, is to have you saying, I can do the work. I can prioritize food, sleep, movement, recovery, my healthy social interaction. I can make better decisions. I can follow this plan without distractions of every podcast or AI rabbit hole out there. And I can't control every single outcome, and that's okay. If you've been following me over the last year, you know that for me, my faith in God, that has played the biggest role in that for me. It helped me find such a deep sense of inner peace, knowing I'm not and I don't have to be in control of everything. And coming out of law enforcement, you have to be in control of everything or it could be your life. I literally let go and let God take control. Have the faith that He's got me. And I don't have to sit in a constant state of worry. I can trust Him, which allows me to trust myself. I don't question everything the second it happens. I can sit and I can be at peace. I can think about God, think about it later. I pray on it. It's a big difference between worrying and prayer. And it's actually documented on prayer, because allowing peace, right? Peace is allowing you to just be. And there's that just stop. So I do the breath work and I pray. That's how I start my day now. And I hate starting my day without that, because it's easier to go into, oh my gosh. But when you have whatever your piece is, bring it. Do things stop happening to me? Like crappy things? No, nope. However, I maintain my flow and stay out of that fear or the worry. What is worry? It's just creating shit that doesn't exist. And it takes really valuable time and joy away from us instead of giving it. So, my question to you: how full of joy and inner peace are you when you're out there looking for more? Get the truth, people. How much joy do you have when, instead of going and spending quality time with your family, you're in your study down a rabbit hole, or sitting out there with them thinking you're present, but you're on your phone scrolling and scrolling, or you're listening to a podcast instead of just going and taking a nice walk in nature? Oh, go ahead, listen to my podcast, but I'm just kidding. But again, time to be just down and be aware of what's around you, because the absolute truth is we're all going to die. That is reality. The goal isn't to live forever, right? I think of The Green Mile. That was another 90s movie with Tom Hanks, and he becomes immortal. And as his life goes on, everybody he loves is gone. And he's just alone, and his soul is basically crushed. So the goal is to live well while we're here. Yes, set the goals, do the movement, eat the right things, enjoy the people and things like nature that are around you. Do the right things consistently and allow your body the space to respond. Recognizing when information is helping you and when it's creating more stress, more noise. A goal. Understand what actually matters to you and when you can simply let go. This is what I've spent over a decade helping people do, and myself. It's not chasing perfection. It's not chasing every trend, every freaking diet. It's not trying to become Brian Johnson. It's learning how to work with your body instead of against it. Look, I'm not here to sell things. If you're tired of confusion, you're tired of second guessing yourself, you want a personalized approach to health, reach out. I would love to have a conversation about you, with you, and see if coaching is the right fit for you at this time. All my info's in the show notes. Everybody here knows my consults are free, right? I have people reach out all the time. Whether we work together or not, that's not the point here. The big takeaway that I want you to have from today's episode is that health is supposed to support your life. It's not supposed to become your life. I want you to go enjoy your life. Like I said, If you need a personalized approach, reach out. My goal is if I could help every single person out there understand themselves better and live a truly happy and healthy life based on how they're created. Oh, dream. Because there are so many people that need it. So many people that need help. But either way, I want you to really think about this. What are you putting your energy into? And is it creating more stress? So please share, subscribe, leave a review. Thank you so much for the feedback I've been getting with myself and guests. And I'm so very thankful for every one of you that takes the time to listen to this podcast and get the word out. If you want to chat with me, you can go on the Facebook page, which is Everyday Epigenetics, raw, real, relatable chat, where I joke, but it's true that nobody chats. So get out there. You can message me. You can post on there. I will happily field your questions on anything. Now get out there, make it a great day, and be your most authentic self. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning into my podcast. If you enjoyed this week's episode, I'd love for you to share it with someone who'd find the information useful. Please leave a review anywhere you listen to podcasts, and it'll help the information get out to others. If you're interested in seeing if we're a great fit to work together, the link is in the show notes below, where you can sign up for a free consultation with me. So go make it a great day and let your authentic self shine.